So I brought Kingpin to every single TDS game mode to try to beat them all and see just how much damage the unit could do in each, in a loadout alongside 4 support towers. I of course started with easy mode, which, it's easy mode. Okay, half my team left, but I'm still gonna be able to get it done here. The simpler game modes are all way too short to generate enough money for some of the tower's stronger upgrades. 2 level 3s were enough to beat the brute boss here. They dealt a combined 34,000 damage. Not very impressive. Casual is a bit more of a substantial mode, you get a bit more money, and as such, I was able to purchase the tower's higher tier upgrades. Hold up, bro, this guy's got the gabagool on his brain. Hold up. Yeah, I watched The Sopranos. I was just goofing around, having a good time. It was cool to see Kingpin finally make it into the game after being initially teased half a decade ago. Being the evolution of Quick Boss, it naturally spawns a lot of bodyguard path-going units. But those didn't really come into play much in this round, it was still very easy. My team and I blitzed through casual mode in barely over 10 minutes. I wish this guy stood in front of the boss while I was trying to get this clip, but it's all good. We won, yay. My Kingpin, dealt a combined 57,000 damage. Moving on, intermediate mode was uneventful. Although the increase in enemy health is very noticeable as the damage total jumps up to over 200,000. Molten mode is where I decided to try messing around with this tower's active ability, Bounty, which is only usable if you choose the top path upgrade route. This active allows you to mark an enemy and gain a fat bonus payout upon killing them. A kind of big bonus payout sometimes. I mean, an extra 7,500 is nice, but it's on a 2-minute cooldown. That's hardly game changing. Like, you need some really big fish. I'm not talking about Polly. This was one of my first couple matches trying the tower, so in the moment I decided to reserve judgment and give the ability a few more matches before making my mind up. Otherwise, in this round, I got bottom path Kingpins along with all my supports, and my teammates and I easily burned through the Molten boss, with Kingpin dealing a combined almost 600,000 damage. Not bad. Fallen was a mode I was curious about because it's like a nice benchmark game. You always want to see how a tower does in Fallen, you know? Kingpin did pretty good. Its flying detection was really nice here, left no issue with any of the fallen angels or such, and its DPS overall was keeping up easily with the tougher mobs. But the active ability, let me put bounty on this mini boss. How much is that? 1,250. Okay. That's hustling, dude. You gotta take your extra dimes where you can get them. The top path for Kingpin is all about money generation, but I don't know, you really don't make any significant cash from the bounty without very high health enemies, which aren't going to spawn until the late game, at which point you'll probably already have a ton of money, which, I mean, more is always nice, but a 2-minute plus cooldown? Seriously? You could watch this Family Guy video 6 times in that duration. My question is, can I pull a sneaky maneuver and clone this Kingpin here, and then use the cloned Kingpin's ability to mark an enemy and get some of that money back? They call me the Thinker. It's not that great of a tech, honestly. It is kinda cool, it's kinda cool. I got all my Kingpins maxed out. I put a bounty on the Fallen King because I thought it'd be funny. Obviously didn't matter at all. Got the win. Kingpin dealt gabagool level damage here. I forgot to check for Fallen, my bad. My bad. I checked all the other modes, okay? Case in point, Frost. My team and I set up a strong initial defense here, and we cruised through the early game. I was planning to go mostly bottom paths on my Kingpins, but an itty-bitty problem arose with the Frost Invader enemy. Wait, we're gonna lose because we have no lead detection. Kingpin does have lead detection on both paths, but bottom is far more expensive to reach than top path, and I couldn't afford it. Which meant we had to rely on the lackeys and the juggernaut to save us here. Holy moly, that was a little close. We had a little bit of a gabagool instant there. We need lead detection, evidently. So I got one top path Kingpin for that, but the others were all bottom path, because again, I like that upgrade route more. Kingpin has 4 types of summonable units, 2 of which both paths share. There's the pretty standard lackey with average enough DPS, and the money runner, who is an interesting option. It's a much weaker unit, but when it dies, you get a little payout. Hashtag mob life. The other 2 units though are bottom path exclusive, which is nuts, because like, I mean, you got the Bouncer, a 1000 health melee unit, which has a triple T reference in its little menu blurb. No, the Bouncer! Took out the Frost Acolyte though. Bouncer's pretty good. And unlocked only at max level, there's the Contractor unit, which is kind of just like a cooler lackey, but it is cooler. Image of a cooler. You have the option to mix and match which units spawn to your own tastes, so for this Frostmoon match, I made sure to just spam a random combo of every type of unit to get some cool footage. Things were going well all the way up to and even upon wave 40, but then I had a realization. Frost Spirit, more like, please defrost my gap. You know, isn't this tower supposed to have voice lines? Does this tower have voice lines? I just haven't been hearing them. Can you say something, bro? A huge part of what makes Kingpin a good tower is the funny dialogue voiced by a very suave sounding dude. And the lines do exist, but they're so quiet you can't really hear them in game, which is such a shame, because like,
forget about it.
I mean, that's 2 spots on the tier list right there. Anyways, we beat Frost Mode. Kingpin came up big, dealing a combined almost 800,000 damage. Next up was Pete's Party, which is another mode that plays to Kingpin's strength with its various flying and lead enemies. Even the bounty is pretty nice here. You can get an easy max payout off some of the stronger mini-bosses. Once again, it was a pretty easy dub, although I honestly feel like Kingpin didn't put in as much work as before, but that might just be because my teammates were higher level. I mean, we did get the win, so like, whatever. It still did pretty good, probably. Kingpin still dealt about 600,000 damage in this round, so it's not that bad. Speaking of bad, Badlands is where things went a little off the rails. First match got off to a hot start. Bro got a wave 1 commander. That's a good strategy, most people don't know that. My teammates then followed up that play with some regular scouts for defense. That's unfortunate. Luckily, my next set of teammates came equipped with strong towers for the follow-up. And they all left, and I lost. In my next attempt with this red cat-looking guy on the team, things went much more smoothly. I went with 3 bottom paths, 1 top path again, and the Kingpins helped carry us into the late game. We made wave 30, albeit with the help of a Juggernaut from one of my teammates. I love Juggernaut. We had enough DPS to win, but as I was trying to move the free camera to record a clean clip of the boss, unfortunately, he just killed all the lackeys. Luckily, we had enough damage besides to still win. Okay, nice. Kingpin put in some work, I think. Yeah. In this Badlands 2 match, Kingpin dealt exactly 600,029 damage, which I thought was neat. Very clean number there. I was kind of dreading Polluted Wastelands because it's typically a pretty tough mode for dumb loadouts like this, and I did lose my first few attempts, but once my team and I settled in, it wasn't too bad. I exclusively placed bottom path Kingpins because money isn't an issue in this mode, and I knew we'd need the higher DPS. And with my teammates getting some path units of their own, by the mid-game, the map was looking like a Christmas parade. Polluted is quite nice for units, because they can just sit safely on the path loops far from the zombies, and stack up and rack up damage. Until wave 25, where the nuclear monster spawns and does this. They dead. Yeah, this dude is way more annoying than the gunslinger with that. He killed all of our units repeatedly, and I had to kinda forsake Kingpin in the moment and use Hacker to clone my teammate's Juggernaut, which I know kinda goes against the point, but if we hadn't done that, I'm pretty sure we would have lost. I should have cloned Kingpin anyway, it would have been funnier. We could have gotten screwed by a summon here, but luckily the boss stunned, so we won. And Kingpin still dealt a ton of damage. I sold and replaced some of them at one point, but in total the tower racked up over 1.2 million damage. That's a lot of provolone sandwiches. Lastly, I figured I'd try Hardcore and Voidcore, as Kingpin seemed decently suited for both modes in theory. I started with regular Hardcore, and after sitting back like a complete potato and farming till I was fat, I was able to get some Kingpins up and running, along with my standard supports, and this is where I was like, oh yeah, this tower doesn't have hidden detection. Which, like, I get from a balance perspective, you don't want to give it all the detections, and you can also compensate for it with the units it spawns, so it's, like, not that bad, but in the moment I really wished it had it. Kingpin dealt, like, I don't know, Parmesan Oregano. So, that's 10 game modes. All that remained was Voidcore. I'll be honest, I was planning on just putting like a little live commentary clip and then cutting to a loss as like a funny moment, but the one round I attempted actually went far better than I had anticipated. Alright, honestly this is not going as terribly as I anticipated. Like, this is a pretty standard, pretty good defense back here. I'm farming. If we can just get ourselves into the mid game here, we might have a shot. Nah, we lost 5 waves later. I didn't even get to place the tower, so that was a real bummer. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thanks to the channel members. I don't know, man. I eat the gabagool.